So we all know that self-care is super important, but if you consider yourselves a godly woman or a Christian, then there is just some self-care things that are even more important that we should be considering as well, just to make sure that we are getting our care from things above and not always earthly things. So let's go ahead and get into these tips now. My sacred family, thank you so much for tuning in for another video. My name is Maggie. If you're new here, and I do all types of self-care videos, so that's something you may be interested in, I would love for you to stick around hitting that subscribe button so that you never miss another upload. So today I just wanted to give some quick little Christian self-care tips that we can definitely start to take more account to, right? Be a little more mindful when we're doing self-care. So I know when we think of self-care, we think of spa day, bath, facials, things like that, even though that is wonderful. I really think it's important to switch it up and not really always make it about us. So that's why I consider these Christian self-care tips. So let's go ahead and jump into number one. So my first Christian self-care tip is to be in the community more. Doesn't matter what it is. You can help the homeless, you can volunteer at an old folks home, you know what I'm saying? There's always like thrift stores or community centers, rec centers that can almost always use some type of help, all right? Not to mention helping the homeless some type of way. There's always something to do in the community. There's tons of work to do online as well, especially during the pandemic. There's definitely ways to donate. I mean, guys, the possibilities are endless. So I notice that I am the happiest, or I am more in a joyful mood when I'm helping others or when I'm giving back. So definitely don't forget about helping your community. My second tip is to spend more time with God. Yes, this is a self-care, soul care, spiritual care tip, okay, that we definitely need every single day. Spending time with God, oh my gosh, it's just such an amazing habit. It's an amazing relationship. It's an amazing feeling, especially when you start to mature in that walk in Christ, you know, and just know how important having that relationship with Him is. Then yes, you will definitely start to make that more of a priority, and you will start to get your life literally just hanging out with God. We have so much fun together, hanging, right? Bible study, spending more time just showing gratitude while I'm doing dishes, all of that good stuff. Anything like that is definitely a self-care moment, right? All right, number three is to be more prayerful. So I know we are Christians, okay, but are we praying? Are we talking to God, right? I just look at prayer as conversations with God. Again, so like when I'm doing dishes, or when I'm kind of just like in my own head, so when I'm cleaning, or like even when I was like doing my hair not too long ago, I'm like literally just talking to God. I was, you know, hanging out with Jesus. I was laughing. I was, you know, joking. I was, you know, asking questions, you know, and just kind of just being in that prayer mode. Yes, it is good to have a conscious and mindful prayer, right? When you're kneeling, when you're, you know, before bed, prayer time, you know, whatever. Prayer time is just conversations with God, and the more that we do it, the more comfortable we'll feel doing it, and the more we can start to accept and feel His presence here with us. My fourth Christian self-care tip, and that is to forgive, okay? We have to forgive. Jesus has gave and explained and you're showing us ultimate forgiveness, you know. So if He can do it, so if He can forgive, you know, for the ultimate sacrifice that He made, then we can definitely forgive somebody for the hurt that they have put upon us, because you have to realize hurt people, okay? Everybody's not perfect. Everybody's been through something, and know that does not justify what they've done, but you have to realize that the forgiveness is for you. The forgiveness is for your healing and for our growth, right? It's for our commitment to God and our promise to God that we would, you know, and it teaches us to be better, right? It teaches us to be more loving, to be more sympathetic, more empathetic, you know, and to not harbor any ill will for each other. So always try to choose forgiveness. All right, my sixth Christian self-care tip is to get rest. Yes, you're talking to somebody who worked midnights for years. I'm still working midnights, but I'm still trying to make rest a priority. I definitely have to come up with my own sort of like schedule just to make sure that I get enough adequate rest. And so far, you know, it's been so good. I've definitely been balancing it out a lot more. I actually get to take kind of like 2 naps a day, you know, one when I get off from work and then one right before I try to go to work or whatever. So yes, rest resting, getting all those Z's, really replenishing your body. You know, God gives us a whole day to rest, you know, so definitely getting extra rest is very, very important, and definitely a self-care habit we should be trying to make, right? All right, number 6 is to just simply show more gratitude. Start to say thank you more. I mean, and really, really thank somebody. Start to, again, show your gratitude towards God. I do that all the time when I'm cleaning, when I'm doing laundry. I just express my gratitude, and like, wow, a lot of people don't even have the things that I have, or are even in the situation that I'm in, and I'm grateful. So expressing more gratitude, especially for the people in your lives, guys, like this can't even be more, you know, helpful. Really expressing that gratitude towards the people who help you, who love you, who care about you, who think about you. You know, expressing that gratitude is always very important. All right, my 7th tip is nourish and exercise. Yes, you knew it was coming, because guys, I am on day 12, day 11 of me really getting back into working out, really making it a part of my week, you know, really nourishing myself, swapping out all of these dinners that I was eating just kind of off the whim, just eating all hours of the night, or just lighter meals, or you know, more meals that are healthier for me, salads, my green juice I'm back on, you know, and really just replenishing my body. And yes, it's a big difference on my skin and my mood and my rest. So you definitely want to incorporate some type of exercise, guys. We have to move our bodies, especially during quarantine. I'm back stuck behind the desk, so moving our bodies, getting that exercise, guys, is definitely a self-care tip. My 8th tip is to lose control, or relinquish control, as I should say. I know we're a mom, we're a wife, and you know, when it comes to the household or work or things, I know we are probably making all the decisions, we are probably handling everything, right? I could probably tell you about 10 to 15 different things I just did within the last hour, honestly. You know, and sometimes I have to really stop myself and just relinquish control, or let some things go for the day, you know, especially for the things that can be put off tomorrow or next week. I definitely don't make it a big priority. I try to prioritize the stuff that needs to be done, right? First of all, and then relinquishing and losing control of everything else without stressing, without feeling like, oh, it has to be done, I have to get it done, you know, and then overwhelming myself even more. I have so learned this a long time ago to just take care of those things later, because I also noticed that it's still going to be there by the time I get back to it. So definitely don't overwhelm yourself, and just relinquish control to the one who can actually help us, okay? All right, my 9th Christian self-care tip is to choose joy over everything else. And I mean real, pure, childlike joy in our life, no matter what the circumstances are. There's a difference between happiness. You know, happiness to me seems a little transactional, or like a little circumstantial, you know, like really depending on your circumstances. But joy is on the inside. Joy is like cannot be taken away. Joy comes for something, you know, much more higher, much more powerful, and can really fill us up in all types of ways, you know, in our lives, especially when we start to operate out of joy. So choose joy over happiness. Joy is, again, I believe it's on the inside. I believe it's from God. I believe it's because of God, and we always have God, right? So how can our joy disperse? You know, how can our joy get weaker, you know? So always try to operate out of love and joy. And last but not least, my 10th Christian self-care tip is to serve others. Now, as we know all throughout the Bible, that is honestly like Jesus's main role, right? That was his main example for us to be, and how we treat others, how we serve others, and to always be selfless. Even within the last days, or I should say hours of him dying, he chose to serve and to wash his disciples' feet and to serve them before they killed him, you know? Like, how much more selfless is that, you know? So again, I get much more joy or more happiness when I'm helping myself instead of always just taking, you know. I feel the most joy when I'm giving and giving and giving. And I think that's the ultimate goal that God wants us to get to, right? He wants us to humble thyself and to not serve people off their status, or you know, help people what they can do for you back, but to just always serve humbly, always serve selflessly, and just always be that light, you know, and always be that light someone can use or someone can see, you know what I'm saying? You definitely don't want to be too available, you know, just for any and every old body's problems and circumstances. That's definitely not what I'm saying. You definitely want to be available for those who are really truly are in need, and really help with the things that you can help with, right? And then casting the rest of those cares to God. All right, my family, yes, those were 10 of my Christian self-care tips that I definitely try to do 1 to 5 of these every single day. Yes, they always seem to put me in a better mood, always seems to help keep me in that mood, and to keep me focused on things above, and yes, to get me closer to my yes, and just helps me further along with my walk with God, right? And on this everyday, daily bread, daily basis we call life, you know. So I really hope these tips were helpful. I really hope they can inspire and help us to use self-care as a more selfless act nowadays, you know. And yeah, just watch how our blessings start to flow, watch how those mustard seeds starts to grow in our lives. All right, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in another video. Peace.